Gross. Yuck. Yuck. Terminator Dark Fate. Ooh, you tried, James Cameron. Paramount Pictures. You are trying to Star Wars the Terminator fandom. Let me tell you the recipe, okay? And maybe you'll find a few coincidences with the Star Wars reboot films and this Terminator Dark Fate trailer. I just watched it. I'm going to give you a reaction, but I'm going to have to do it in a little different way because Paramount be Paramount and they be trying to steal my pennies. Trying to keep a man with two dads down. How not progressive. So, Star Wars reboot for Disney. What do? They drag all the old actors out of the retirement home, cram them in front of the screen to get all that nostalgia. And I'm not going to lie, it works. In fact, for this new Terminator film, it will probably still work for them too. But before I get into my full take on this, and before I get into the rest of this video, huge shout out to today's video sponsor, NordVPN. I've been using a VPN for the past few years, and given everything going on in today's internet world, it's something I strongly recommend you look into. NordVPN has over 5,200 servers in 60 countries, no data logging. It has an extension for the Chrome browser, which is lightweight, user-friendly from the very first click. It has super fast servers, 24/7 customer support, up to 6 simultaneous connections, which means your computer, your laptop, your cell phone, whatever you want to protect. It also has an automatic kill switch. Keep access to your favorite websites, entertainment, and content, and forget about censorship or bandwidth limits. NordVPN was selected as the best VPN at the VPN Awards in 2018, and right now they're offering a huge 75% off deal off their 3-year plan, including 1 free month. And most importantly, you support the channel when you check it out. Hey, you're going to need a VPN, and even though the offer is ending soon, NordVPN is offering 75% off their 3-year plan, including 1 free month. So why not support the channel while browsing the web securely by following the link in the description below and getting NordVPN today. You bring back Lando, you bring back Princess Leia, you bring back all the old characters. You try to do a beat for beat, so many callbacks to the original, and none of them are as good. This is because you can't create a magical moment twice. Well, I'm trying to think of a scenario where it did happen. It's, I suppose, possible, but it's nearly never it's nearly impossible, I imagine. Terminator, for a lot of people, in particular the first 2 Terminators, because I think Terminator has had a higher percentage of bad movies than, for example, Star Wars did. Now, that's debatable, but for me, it's Terminator 1 and 2, and then everything after was awful. If you're ultra hardcore Terminator fan, there are things to like about each of the other films, of course, all right? But to me, Terminator will always be Arnold. It will always be John Connor and Sarah Connor. And that's exactly what they're trying to do in this new Terminator film. Although, are they though? They've trotted out a geriatric Sarah Connor who will likely deliver an excellent performance. I have 100% faith that she will capture Sarah Connor and she will do excellent. The rest of the actors in the film outside of Arnold look ridiculous. The T-1000 does not look intimidating. He looks boring and uninspired. The new female Terminator is unlikable in most of these trailers. Now, that could be the fault of the way the trailers are cut. And I'm going to go through some of that. But this film also has some seriously questionable woke moments. Even Angry Joe pointed them out. And I felt like he was like, oh boy, Jeremy's going to do his thing and he's going to say, get woke, go broke. I don't know. I think ultimately, look, as I've always said, the number one thing that drives whether or not a film is successful is not necessarily the woke to broke ratio. It's whether or not it's a good movie. And at no point has Terminator Dark Fate looked like it was going to be a good movie. You might be saying, Jeremy, why are you commenting on Terminator? Why not? Why you don't do these type of videos for everything? You're right, I don't. I just do them on videos that are on movies that are rehashes of my childhood favorites. For example, Ghostbusters or Star Wars or any one of the other multitude of terrible remakes in the past 3 years. That's when I have an opinion. Because if it were a new IP, which is clearly what they should be doing, I would have zero interest in this movie. They're trying to placate me. The trailer is actually decently liked. I mean, it's got 47,000 upvotes, 9,000 downvotes. It's not awful. That's still a lot of downvotes. And there are a lot of scenes in this trailer that I think lead to that. You start off with the Wominator coming in, and then you have Sarah Connor, which allows the Wominator to get the drop on her immediately. Now, that's out of practice, Sarah Connor. Maybe he didn't know that the lady with the "Can I speak to your manager" haircut was in fact cybernetic. She appears to be like a hybrid, almost like a cyberpunk type thing, which I think is a nice touch. You know, I would guess that before full cybernetics are a thing, you will see people doing certain upgrades to their body to make themselves stronger. We've already seen like brain implants that claim to one day be able to fix people who are paralyzed and things like that. So from a lore perspective, I like that. I always love like the apocalyptic flash forwards after Judgment Day. This looks really good. Now, a lot of people are talking about the CG. I don't know. You tell me. A lot of people are saying, the CG looks bad. Here's what I think. I'm almost afraid to rewatch Terminator 2. In my mind, that CG was so good, so mind-blowingly real, that I don't know. I'm afraid it might not hold up if I watch it now. But is it because maybe we're seeing everything in like 4K ultra definition nowadays? Is it because we've just seen CG and so we're more hard on it? I don't know. The CG to me looks fine. It isn't anything mind-blowing, but I guess I just don't have the eye to notice if it's just, you know, bad versus good. I remember Terminator 2 being unbelievably awesome and groundbreaking, but that was also 20 years ago. Now, they supposedly brought back Ed Furlong at some point. We have not seen him in any trailers. I'm guessing he plays a tiny role, if anything. They've replaced her with this young girl who is uninspiring so far, in my opinion. They end up like joining forces to protect the girl, which is exactly what all the Terminator movies do. And then at some point, you know, this CG where the I don't know, T800 or whatever, or T1000, I'm not sure exactly what the model number is going to be on this, does this cool splitty thing, and the CG doesn't look that good, according to some people. Then we have this guy, what does everyone call him? T1000. Does not look intimidating. Now, here's the thing. If you have like this crazy cybernetic power, you wouldn't need to be like a hulking dude like Arnold was back in the day. But there's still that like mental disconnect where you're like, this dude does not look scary at all. But you know what? If you go back to the original T1000, he was kind of a scrawny dude too. Then there's lots of chase scenes. This is a good freeze frame right here. Let's that's gonna be a good thumbnail, I think. Let's see. Boop. That looks great. That looks great. I love it. There's a fight scene here. Lots of flannel. I mean, the fight scene is fine. The CG doesn't look great. Then you get this scene, which is raising a lot of questions. We don't know. We don't know what is going on with the authorities here, but she attacks them. Now, maybe Just like in the original Terminator, they did something to provoke it. It's entirely possible. If we're going with what we're seeing in the film later, the officers might be like, "Hey, pretty lady," and then she'll be like, "Ah, it's ma'am." I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that. Then you have here, there's people that appear to be trying to care for her, and then she beats them all up. And then here's a weird thing. Are they at like a border wall here? It's definitely like some sort of security wall you see behind them. It could just be a regular fence, but you'll see why maybe I think that later. You go through, and then here's a scene where they end up at this log cabin in the woods, and you see Papa Arnold. He has some cosmetic damage. So I don't know. I know there's some lore for like kind of their suit degrading over time, like the organic parts of their suit. So that could be just what we're seeing here. Could he be like the original scientist that designed them? I don't know. Is he still the robot? Probably. Sarah Connor immediately tries to sawed off his face. Speculation here. Maybe he ended John Connor. Maybe that's why Sarah Connor hates him so much. I mean, obviously she never liked him, but also, you know, what happened, you know, he went down into the lava. There's so many questions that, you know, they removed everything but Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 from canon. So there's a lot of questions as to like, how did he get here? I'm assuming the movie will answer them. Here's another good. Here, let's go. Oh, this is great. This is great. Totally professional. We're gonna go this, and then we're gonna maybe look at this. This looks pretty good. Scary old lady, mad at robot dude. I think that's pretty good for a thumbnail. He agrees to help them, which is fine. And then you have this character, which still has like no personality, at least in the trailer. Then he presses on a button and all of a sudden she becomes a super weapons machine, although she's not even shouldering that arm very well at all. It's like on the top of her shoulder. This is something. And what's with all the flannel? I'm not sure about all that. Obviously, the two robots don't need any hearing protection. So maybe that's another indicator that he's in fact a robot. You have Tim Miller, former Deadpool guy. Now, here's where some possible issues are. There's this scene too. Okay, nobody. So you're basically at a border patrol facility here, and you have T-1000. I don't know if they're trying to say anything here. I don't know. I don't. But given everything we know about today's modern cinema, I think it would be reasonable for you to wonder, and then like everybody that works there happens to look like this. Just saying. Here's another like fat white guy. So everybody that works at this facility is a fat white guy, and then T-1000 just crushes everybody. And notice that there are people in cages. I don't know. Every one of these Border Patrol agents are white. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. Everyone else in the movie seems to be, other than just T-1000. So maybe not. Waminator then basically chops up the T-1000, and you get some funny lines. You know, I do like the dynamic between these two. I think that will be an endearing thing in the film. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to play on the original Terminator fans. I admit, the first time I watched this trailer, I was like, it's not that bad. And then I sat on it for about 20 minutes. I was like, oh, wait, you're just really happy to see Schwarzenegger back reprising his role. That's what it was. And that's exactly what Star Wars does to bring people in. I mean, this looks more like a Gone in 60 Seconds film than it does a Terminator film to me. you know, the lady Terminator is very unlikable, I think, in all the trailers. Again, that could be just bad trailers. I don't know. I have no interest. By the way, and a lot of people who are reviewing this are like, oh, I'm still going to... No, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to pay $15 at the cinema to see what I'm sure will be 4 seconds of fan service and then a completely different, completely worse movie. That's what it looks like to me. You know, this scene with Arnold at like point blank with the T-1000 unloading a clip is pretty awesome. That looks cool. Otherwise, I don't know. Then you have at the end, you have Sarah Connor saying, "I'll be back," later. They should have saved that probably for the movie, because they've showed so much of the movie in these 2 trailers that it's a question of whether or not I even want to see it. Look at some of the top comments. I bet this trailer showed 75% of the movie. Bold of you to give us the full movie and expect us to watch it in theaters now. It's so totally off. It's closer to Transformers movie than a Terminator movie. It's just so weird. It looks like they mashed together the first 3 instead of coming up with an original plot. I love the smell of a flop, and people do not like it. Now, who are these 47,000 people who upvoted it? They could be purchased. They could be bots. You could say the same of those that downvoted. To me, I've seen absolutely nothing that makes this film seem worthy of my $15 other than Schwarzenegger. If I saw like a third trailer and I saw that he was like in 30 or 40% of the movie, I might matinee this. I might $5 budget theater this if he was in like 30% of the film. If he's just this thing that they prop up to try and sell this new storyline like they've done with Star Wars, I'm absolutely not interested. I'm guessing, prediction, this will get in the 60s for critic reviews. Maybe, I mean, I'll give myself a 10% margin of error. I would be very surprised if it was higher than 70, but I'd also be surprised if it was lower than 50 because of the cast. Let's just put it that way. I'm interested in seeing what you have to say in the comment section down below. We'll talk to you again real soon. Hey, if you're still hanging out, there's a subscribe button right on the screen right now. Make sure to click that, turn notifications on. And if you want to see the next video, that should also be hovering around the screen. Thanks so much for watching this and for supporting the channel. What are you waiting for? Subscribe. And, you know, turn on